What's going on YouTube? I'm E and this is Simple Put Sense. So guys, I wanted to share with you my top 10 2017 list for the summer. I really feel like these are awesome recommendations from not only the top 5, but from 1 all the way down to the honorable mentions. Honestly guys, any one of these fragrances could easily be number 1 depending on who you talk to. They're all very well done fragrances that are perfectly fitted for the warmest time of the year.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And some compliment getting stuff too. That's one of the things I also liked about this list. I feel like a lot of the fragrances on this list will do amazing with the opposite sex, and a lot of these fragrances will do amazing with people in your circle. Like, they're just very easy to appreciate. So, without further ado, let's just get into this list, guys. And from the house of John Varvatos, the fragrance is Artisan Blu. It's cooling, it's mature, it's fleeting. That's the issue, I guess, with all John Varvatos fragrances. If they made fragrances that lasted more than 4 to 6 hours, I think a lot of people would consider John Varvatos one of the top fragrance houses for men in a designer presentation.
Doesn't have the stamina.
Every time I spray this fragrance, I just close my eyes. You know, that's how nice it smells. This is a perfect moment fragrance that works perfectly when you're going somewhere to handle something for 3 or 4 hours. Beautiful scent. Cookouts, picnics, beaches. This scent really does a great job. John Varvatos Artisan Blu. Second honorable mention is from the house of Jil Sander, and the fragrance is Ultrasense White. So a lot of people don't even know this fragrance exists. You don't hear it discussed too much, and there's probably a reason for that. If I had to come up with 3 words to describe this scent: powdery, clean, linen. It's very powdery, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of guys might not like it. This fragrance can almost come across like a powdery fabric softener. Now, to some guys, that might be absolutely awesome to them, so that's one of the reasons why I included it on this list. A little powderiness in the summertime isn't a horrible thing. You know what I mean? Just keeps you smelling clean. And I really feel like if that's the vibe you like, this is a scent you should definitely consider. The next fragrance is from the house of Lalique, and the scent is Lalique White. I mean, it's perfumed pencil shavings. I love this scent. I think this scent is so different, it's so weird, but that's one of the reasons why it's just an honorable mention, because a lot of people just won't get it, and you'll have a lot of people complaining about the longevity of it. The performance is not the greatest. This is a really good moment scent, however, but it's slightly on the daring side for a summer scent. It's nothing typical at all. Like I said, perfumed pencil shavings. And from the house of Zara, the scent is Impact Masculin. Out of all the scents that they create that you could possibly wear in the summertime, this has to be in the top 3, in my opinion. It was made by Alberto Morillas, who is absolutely awesome. To me, this fragrance is bright, soapy, and citrusy. It's just full of neroli and full of citruses, guys. It's just very refreshing to wear in the warm weather. I've worn it on the hottest day of the year so far in New York, and I enjoyed it on me. I sprayed it a little more than normal, and I got about 8 hours out of the scent, and it actually stuck to my clothes for like 2-3 days later. Impact Masculin is just really well done, and I think one of Zara's sleeper fragrances in their lineup. So Impact Masculin, guys, it's no joke. It's absolutely no joke. And from the house of Paco Rabanne, the fragrance is 1 Million Cologne. Why is nobody talking about this fragrance? Why? This fragrance is like the Meg of the 1 million line.
Honey,
Hey guys, is everyone on the phone?
Oh, I gotta go.
something's in the oven.
I lost a shoe. No, don't leave me on the phone with her.
I feel like this is a really big improvement on 1 million, and why no one discusses this fragrance is beyond me. Out of the 1 million flankers, it's the furthest away from 1 million than all of them, even Privé. If I were to describe this fragrance, it would be underrated, overlooked, and under-discussed. That's it right there. This isn't a scent to be worn for its amazing composition and quality. This is easygoing, pleasant, and likable. And those are the reasons you'd probably wear this scent. The newest Homme Sport is very stripped down and is a lot more closer to its original 2008 version. I guess you could say the 2017 version is a little bit more dumbed down.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
I would definitely say it's not as interesting as previous versions of Dior Homme Sport, but it definitely gets the job done and a lot longer than the other versions. So this is probably the sportiest sport of the Dior Homme line. So I guess in that way it makes a lot of sense to do it in this way. But yeah, it does come across very basic, sporty, and fresh. From the house of Rasasi, the fragrance is Al Wisam Day. Now there are a lot of fragrance companies that have tried to dupe Silver Mountain Water. And yeah, you know, a lot of them come close and a lot of them do a really decent job. But to be honest, I feel like Al Wisam Day kings them all. To me, this is a much more modern interpretation of Silver Mountain Water with enhanced longevity and performance.
You're quite an animal.
Amazing stuff. This is definitely one of the strongest fragrances on this list. And when you consider that it's a fraction of the cost of Silver Mountain Water and probably lasts about 5 to 8 hours longer than Silver Mountain Water, it really makes it hard to consider Silver Mountain Water at this point, for me at least. I feel like it just does all the things I need it to do, and it does it above and beyond my expectation. Bright Neroli. Thanks so much, Chad, for putting us onto this scent, my friend. I would have never known about this if it wasn't for you. Guys, this fragrance is really well done. The fact that Ferrari produced this is impressive. There's nothing cheap smelling about this scent. A really beautiful musk, neroli, and citrus fragrance. From the house of Armani, the fragrance is Acqua Di Gio, Essenza. To me, Essenza is a much more fresh take and a much more green take on the original. In my opinion, it's more fresh, it's more green, and it's more interesting than the original. I feel like the original Acqua Di Gio has been made obsolete by the releases of Essenza and Profumo. If you're looking for something a lot more fresh than the original, actually lasts a lot longer than the original in its current form, Essenza will do it for you. If you're looking for something a lot more versatile than Acqua Di Gio that you could wear at night times also, Profumo is a really good option. So what's the point of Acqua Di Gio? In the heat, Essenza, guys. And from the house of Versace, the fragrance is Dunhill Blue. Now I know what you guys are thinking.
Oh God, another one. Oh man, another one. He is drunken from the Jeremy Kool-Aid.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women.
Well, hey, Jeremy has some great taste. And to be honest with you, the person who informed me about this scent before anyone, including Jeremy Fragrance, is my man Carlos from Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. Carlos was talking up this fragrance from September of last year in his review. At that time, everyone was just bashing this scent left and right, and he was one of the first and only people I heard at the time saying, don't listen to all that, this fragrance is really good. The three words that we used to describe this scent: sweet, ambroxan, smoky. The Frankenstein of the fragrance game right now.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
It's got 1 part of Dior Sauvage, 1 part of Chanel's Bleu de Chanel, and another part of Invictus Aqua by Paco Rabanne. Now, a lot of people don't even really mention the Invictus when they talk about this fragrance, and that kind of shocks me because it's clear that it has that Invictus sweetness. The fact that they took 3 elements from 3 different fragrances that are top sellers and mashed them together like that and created like a Dunhill Blue gumbo of all those 3 scents, I really feel like that's really cool. If you're tired of the sweet aquatics that are out right now, this might turn you off, but Dunhill Blue smells good. That's the bottom line. From the house of Dunhill, the fragrance is Icon. Guys, this would be my favorite daytime climate control option for the summertime. If you're in a climate control environment in the day, this fragrance does a really good job. I like this fragrance in the daytime, and I would even consider it an evening option. That pepper is really good, but it also can be a little much in the heat. So you have to pay attention if it's too hot. But again, if you're in a place where there's air conditioning, this fragrance will do awesome for you. Now, some people knock the fact that it's not as strong as it used to be. I can't really make that claim because my bottle gets me about 6 to 7 hours, which is pretty acceptable for a summer option for me. So I really don't hate on the performance, but I can understand if you're getting less than that, why it would be a want for you. I would definitely put this on the list, but that is the caveat. Icon doesn't work on all people's skin the same way as far as the performance. Make sure you're sampling this before you purchase it, but in my opinion, this fragrance is an extremely beautiful scent, extremely modern, extremely masculine, and extremely sophisticated. From the house of Paco Rabanne, Invictus Aqua. This fragrance is aquatic, it's sweet, and it's lovable. It's so easy to love this fragrance.
It's off the chain, baby.
And you love this fragrance because it's such a simple, easy to wear scent when it's warm outside that it gets so much love from other people. It's like almost when you get around it, people just go, you know, it's like so pleasant to people around you that it's hard to not include this on this list. In my opinion, it's actually an improvement on Invictus, and Invictus is one of the most iconic scents over the last 10, 15 years. So it's obviously iconic because it's inspired so many scents after it. So now fragrance houses are mixing Sauvage with Invictus Aqua, and you're getting Bulgari Atlantique, Versace Dunhill Blue, Polo Blue Eau de Parfum. It just goes on and on and on, guys. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more before the year is over, so get ready. From the house of Guerlain, the fragrance is Homme L'eau Boisee. Some people, guys, say this is much more of a spring fragrance, but I disagree. I feel like the performance of this fragrance lends itself perfectly for the summertime. It unfolds on your skin beautifully when it's warm outside. I don't know, it's something about this scent that just does an amazing job with the heat. And I love it when it's really hot outside. And I know it's grassy, but there are moments when I smell it and I'm like, wow, it almost smells cakey. Know that when Guerlain puts their foot in it, they put their foot way in it. This fragrance is high quality. This fragrance is amazingly done. The notes, the composition, the way it unfolds, the way it dries down. The fact that you can own this for $35 is shocking because I could see this selling for over $150 easily. I feel like this can compete with a lot of high-end niche fragrances for the warm weather with no problem. With no problem. And number 1. Guys, thank you so much for getting down this list with me. I really, really appreciate it. But my number one is my favorite summertime option, period. And it's from the house of Hermes, and the fragrance is Terre d'Hermes, Eau Fraiche. I absolutely love Eau Fraiche. It screams quality. It just screams well made. And it just screams class. It's one of the best fresh fragrances I've ever smelled in a designer bottle. One of the highest quality fresh fragrances I've ever smelled in a designer bottle. And in my opinion, it's a lot more appealing than Terre d'Hermes, and including the Pure Parfum version of it. It's earthy, it's orangey, and it's refreshing. That's it. This is one of the most refreshing orange fragrances ever. Ever. I love it. It's not a versatile fragrance. It's mostly to be worn in the warm weather, but 6 to 7 hours of awesomeness is what you'll get when you wear this thing. Thank you so much. What is your top favorite fragrances for the summer, guys? There's a lot of really good summertime scents out there right now, and that kind of shocked me because I used to always think that, you know, winter fragrances dominate, period. But I think there's some summertime fragrances that are really, really starting to change that concept of warm weather fragrances not being as good as the winter fragrances. Because, yeah, there's some good stuff out here right now. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I'm E, and this is Simply Put Sense. And I'm Simply O-U-T. Peace. It's like 8.
So we didn't do it yesterday because I couldn't smell shit.
You know what? We're just gonna do it, and that's that. Whatever. I'm gonna make it happen.